Good evening. I am Eden Limpheimer, East Granby's first Selectwoman. Today is August 28th. It's 6:30 p.m. and I call this Board of Selectmen meeting to order. I'm joined by Selectman Steve Hall and Selectperson Amanda Thompson. I'd like to actually have a motion to add public comment to the end. I just
make a motion to add public comment to the end of the agenda.
Item number 7. All right, all those in favor? Or it would be the new item number 7. Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So next, I have public comment at the beginning, but no one's here right now. So we'll move on to correspondence. We received this last year also, Connecticut Conference of Municipalities has a scholarship contest. It's posted on the town website. It's called #LowCoolGovernment. So the play on local government. The contest overview, there's a question, what's cool about local government? And participants can create an entry using this as the central question and general theme. And they're asking that everyone has fun and be creative with the project. You can choose to submit an essay, a poem, a photo, a video, a painting, a multimedia project to convey what's cool about local government. So again, you can find a link to that on the website. Next is from Connecticut Economic and Development and Community Development, from the Connecticut Manufacturing Innovation Fund. They are promoting a campaign called Got It Made. Its aim is to encourage young people to consider careers in manufacturing. You can view the website and the commercial at gotitmade.com. Just marketing to attract kids and adults, or young adults and adults, to the manufacturing world. And there's actually a manufacturing summit coming. It's Connecticut's first summit. It's coming to the Connecticut Convention Center on October 2nd. And you can find more information on the summit at ctmanufacturingsummit.com. And teachers are invited, students, parents, and anyone, any resident, any public interested in the manufacturing world are welcome to attend it.
You go on their website, you can also vote for your favorite new innovative manufacturer.
Yes.
And it's pretty cool to see all the different stuff that's being manufactured in Connecticut, stuff that I had no idea.
Right, even in East Granby, there's some really cool stuff.
With the airport.
Yeah.
Hamilton, Sussex around here, there's a multitude of opportunity in manufacturing.
Yep. There's a company in town that makes lasers for urinary surgeries, which is so cool. It's on Bradley Park, I believe.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I did a tour of it, and it looks like what you'd envision Google to be like. The Google, it's bright, it's funny, it's not your mom and pop's manufacturing line that you're used to seeing. Pretty cool. Next on the agenda are the minutes from our meeting on July 24th. Just need a motion to approve those.
We'll make a motion to approve the minutes from July 24th as presented.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carrie? Next is back office shared services opportunities. I did actually meet last week with our superintendent and our facilities department and DPW to try to see how we can best work the connection between the town and schools and kind of relook at it, maybe modify, create a contract between the schools and the town, just to kind of share, just for shared services to kind of alleviate some of the pressure that there is right now. Right. And see if we can maybe hopefully hire someone or just kind of change job descriptions too. But there's already contracts with the schools, so we're going to try to work with those. But we're all having a good conversation about it and hope to continue it. So we're all aware there's a need. Okay, 6, new business. We have the tax collector report. This is for the month of July. So we'll be getting August soon. But as of July 31st, we took in $2,304,000. When our overall collection rate at the end of July was 9.84. And so far in August, as of my numbers, we collected 1.5 million by August 2nd. So it's 1.5 million on top of the 2.3 we had collected. In regards to sewers, we collected $4,625 in past due bills in July. So the sewer collection rate is at 96.58. There's no refunds this month, but I'll need
I'll make a motion to accept the tax collector's report as presented.
second that. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, next is the July police stats. The stats for July are, we had 15 motor vehicle accidents, 13 alarm calls, 1 burglary, 3 disturbances, 2 domestic incidents, 1 larceny, 24 medical assists, 1 emergency committal, 7 suspicious incidents, 47 traffic stops, 3 untimely deaths, 446 patrol checks, and a total of 681 total calls for service. Out of the traffic stops, 44 were warnings and 2 were citations.
Busy month.
Mm-hmm. Next is the ARPA update. The balance to date is $36,796.23.
And do we have to use that by the end of 2024, or at least designate it?
Yes, designate.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do we have a list of anything as of now?
I don't have anything in hand.
Okay.
I'm expecting something probably next month, but we'll see. So, yeah, if anyone has any requests.
Okay.
And this number might be changing too, just with some salaries that we were able to, some more salaries that we were able to get into the budget, and we won't be able to expend by the deadline. So I'll have a new report for next month. All right, next, we have 2 resignations, one from Board of Finance. Oliver Davis, our vice chair, is resigning. Unfortunately, work is getting crazy for him, and the responsibility of being on the Board of Finance is with us right now. So unfortunately, he's resigned as of July 22nd. And the next is from Wetlands, Brian Kosker. Same, it's just the same reason, just probably just too much going on, and I get it. The big responsibility to be on these boards. So we appreciate their service and their dedication, and if anyone has interest in joining the Board of Finance or Wetlands, you can reach out to info@egtownhall.com, and we'll pass it on to the chairman of each committee. So I just need...
I'll make a motion to accept the resignations of Oliver Davis and Mr. Kosker.
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor of accepting the resignations, say aye.
Aye.
And Oliver's done an amazing job with the Board of Finance, and he's an excellent communicator and does a really good job of explaining his point of view or where he's coming up with numbers in order to get us where we need to be as a town. So that's very disappointing to see him gone, but you know, people get busy, so
You did a great job at the last town meeting.
big shoes to fill.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay, the next 4 items on the agenda will eventually have to go to town meeting for final approval. And I'm looking at the calendar and waiting to meet with the town clerk and the Board of Finance, or Board of Education and Board of Finance to pick a date, most likely beginning of October for a town meeting. But, so we're not going to be scheduling the town meeting now, but we'll be going over these and then they'll be on the agenda for the town meeting. So the first item, 6E, is the Trails Grant acceptance. So in order to get the funds that we were awarded through DEEP, Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, for our proposal of the East Granby Greenway Restoration Project, we had won $395,389, and we have to have a resolution accepted, or resolution executed to accept the money that we won. So I'll read the resolution and we can vote on accepting it, and then, but I'm not going to sign it until after the town meeting. And I think I'm going to have to change the date on this. I put the Board of Selectmen meeting's date of today, but it will be the town meeting's date. The resolution reads, the town of East Granby may enter into, with, and deliver to the State of Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection any and all documents which it deems necessary or appropriate for a grant of $395,389 for the East Granby Greenway Restoration Project. And it just states me signing the document. So moved. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept.
She
Oh, and I second the motion.
All right, all those in favor of this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
I figured if we have to have a special meeting, maybe to set the town meeting, so we won't have to be going over all these, I can list them and we'll know what we're talking about. Might make it easier. Okay. The next is the CPACE amendment, a release agreement. So in 2013, I believe it was 2013. Yes. East Granby signed a contract with CPACE, with Connecticut Green Bank, for CPACE. Connecticut Green Bank is the nation's first of its kind. It accelerates green economy using limited public dollars to attract private capital investment and for the purpose of clean energy. And so companies who are building projects can borrow this money, and it makes it more affordable and accessible and easy funding for these projects. I can read a little bit more about it. CPACE is actually a state policy which enables finance. It's a financing mechanism allowing builders and owners to access capital they need to make energy-related deferred maintenance and upgrades in existing buildings to support new construction costs and make renewable energy accessible and cost-effective. That's from their website. So what this amendment to the contract does is, so when Connecticut Green Bank lends the money, the payments are made to East Granby's tax collector, and they acted as a middleman to collect the funds. So this amendment basically just takes the middleman, takes the tax collector out, and the funds will now be paid back to Green Bank. For some reason, we were just in the middle, and it just isn't necessary anymore.
Yeah.
Yep. So the amendment, it's a partial release. So that's the agreement that's right here. And I can read through it when we're at the town meeting. But it basically eliminates the need of us to have to collect the money. It's actually a pretty neat program.
You just make a motion to approve the CPACE partial release agreement?
Yes.
I make a motion to
Accept, thank you. Listing pays partial release agreement. Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. So we've actually never participated. We've never had to collect money because there hasn't been anyone who's borrowed. But with all the solar projects and things coming around and the push for green energy, we might be seeing that in the near future. So I think there's 94 towns in Connecticut have closed projects already, and 139 towns have opted into this amendment. So we it's next on the list. Okay, the next item, which will have to go to town meeting, is a non-lapsing fund the Board of Finance voted on and accepted for the police department on June 18th. So this fund will have to go to town meeting to be adopted. It'll be essentially an ordinance. And the monies that go into this, I don't know if either of you are aware, but to make people aware, the funds that go into this are all from private duty overtime. So it's not taxpayer money that's going into this fund. It's all the work that, when you see the police officers out there working for Eversource or for Frontier or for any other outside third party, all the funds from that will go into this. All the money brought in from that will go into this fund. And I'll read it. The town of East Granby hereby establishes a special fund entitled Reserve Fund for Police Equipment, herein referred to as the reserve. The purpose of this fund is to preserve a balance of liquid assets in order to purchase, outfit, and maintain law enforcement equipment and vehicles. The contributions are made from revenue generated from private duty assignments and third-party contractors. The reserve shall not be supplemented with tax revenue or place a burden on the taxpayer in any manner. The reserve shall remain in the custody of the treasurer. Funds may be utilized upon request by the resident trooper for the purpose of purchasing law enforcement equipment, vehicles, outfitting said vehicles, or maintaining equipment and facilities in current use. The reserve shall be overseen by the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance to ensure funds are being allocated appropriately. Funds requested up to $5,000 may be authorized by the first selectwoman. Funds requested in excess of $5,000 may be authorized by joint approval of the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance through written request and an accompanying estimate or quote. Either board may also request a written plan of action related to the expected use of funds by the resident trooper and may pre-approve purchases based on this plan. The balance of the reserve shall remain at the close of the fiscal year and may accumulate up to a maximum of a total of $100,000. Any revenue generated which would exceed this cap shall be transferred to the town's general fund. This reserve shall be administered in accordance with the town's investment practices ordinance and Connecticut general statutes. So it did have attorney review, and which is why we're going to have to go to town meeting. And we're going to write up the ordinance to reflect this, plus be able to, instead of having to go to town meeting to expend the funds, it'll state in the ordinance that we don't have to go to town meeting to expend the funds, that it can be, because this isn't going to be the actual ordinance, it'll get written so that the money can be spent by the under five, how I explained it, and Board of Finance really has purview over it. So, and this being because it isn't taxpayer money, so if it were, then it would have to be approved by town meeting.
Yeah, it seems to me that I think it's an excellent program. It will pretty much make them self-sustaining. The per hour rate of the contractors are charged is more than the officers are paid. So the additional monies can go to maintain the vehicles that go out to these road jobs. If there's a couple of big years where there's lots of overtime, you make them a self-sustaining agency in a sense for the equipment purchases and maintenance. I think it's a fabulous idea. And it could surely offset their request to the CIP long term.
Right.
If they can afford a police vehicle out of that fund every other year, every third year, then they get a good rotation of vehicles in and out. The vehicles at the auction will bring money back into town instead of being junks. Like I said, it's a self-sustaining program. I think it's marvelous. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, our ultimate goal is to be able to remove, just have their operating budget for salaries.
Yeah.
And take any, and not even request any in our.
Yeah, training, any and all,
plan.
yep. So I think it's a great idea.
I have some questions, but do you want to make a motion first? And then I'll ask questions.
I'll make a motion to accept the plan as presented.
Second that. My question is, what happens to that money now? It goes to general government?
Right now, Kelly did create a fund.
Mm-hmm.
It's just right now it's not non-lapsing, so it wouldn't get carried year to year until we create this. So normally that money, yes, it would go to general.
At the end of the fiscal year, it rolls into.
We've never made money in it before, so we're actually making money now.
Mm-hmm.
We make $33 an hour every time you see an officer. It's our revenue is $33 an hour.
Yeah.
So we're making some pretty good money.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea. It just reminds me kind of going back to the budget about like the Board of Education budget, and the same thing kind of happens to them where like they can't spend the money because sometimes it doesn't come in until the very end of the year, and then it has to go back into the general government fund. Mm-hmm. And then everyone questions about, well, you were able to make do without the money, like there's always that goofy thing. And we had kind of talked about when it was finance time about how if the Board of Ed were able to keep those funds, then they wouldn't have to ask for as much or for the increases that they ask for. So, I mean, I think this is a great idea. I would like to see a similar thing applied to the Board of Ed so that that funding just stays with them and then we don't end up in these circles.
Well, they do have, so they have their non-lapsing fund. They can, I guess I missed what you meant. That
there's something like there's some funding that they get, and I'm of course not the right person to ask. I have to ask like Mary Heine about what it is about. There's some funding that doesn't come until like the end of June. And sometimes they don't get it in time for the end of the year, but they can't stay in the red, so they won't. They have to budget down to stay within what they have, and so if they don't get that money, like if the checks, whatever check it is that comes really late in the year, it doesn't come until after, July 1, then it has to all get returned to the town. Mm-hmm. And so it's really like something they kind of have to wait to see, mm-hmm. And so I just wonder if there's something similar we could do to help them, and it just eases up their ability to put money where they want it into the programs they want without coming back to the town.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we can definitely talk to Board of Finance. Board of Ed. Yeah, I don't know if you need to go to a meeting, or we could talk about how that would work. This was all derived from the Board of Finance, kind of came up with this with the help of the... It was actually the police department. Okay. And Jay and I talking just we're making this really great revenue now, and just to be able to use it for the police department, which in the end I think will be a win for everyone. Yeah. Because then we're not going to the capital plan. Mm-hmm. They should, like you said, be able to be self-sustaining, hopefully. Yeah. Well, and if they're earning the extra money and it goes back into their department, same with like Board of Ed. If it's money that was supposed to go to education, but then it goes to the town, it's better that it goes back to education because that's what it was for. So I really appreciate when we have something like this where it goes to the proper source. Right. In the town itself, we don't have a non-lapsing fund. Mm-hmm. So this is a way to create it for the specific department. Mm-hmm. And it's not town money either, so. And there is a limit on it too. So if they're making crazy money, it's not like they can just go out and buy, whatever, 3 cars in a year. Yeah. Yeah, but if they can save up to $100,000, and they still bring it by Board of Finance, but like you said, if it were for a car or something that they wanted, that they knew would never pass in the budget normally, have that, which is great. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. All right. 6H. Do you need to? Oh yes, I need a motion, a vote. All those in favor of accepting the fund for now until it goes to town meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. Okay, then, last on the agenda is, is the Connecticut, or the Central Connecticut Solid Waste Authority, SESHWA. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. We have another amendment to an ordinance that we have created already. So this is a message from CROG. CROG's been working with our Regional Waste Authority, SESHWA, to amend the Regional Waste Authority's bylaws and concurrent, in parentheses, enabling ordinance. These amendments serve to simplify the membership and voting process and eliminate the need of each municipal member to adopt an amended concurrent ordinance with each future bylaw amendment. So it's basically an overlaying amendment to the ordinance.
Like saying,
So
whatever changes they make in the future apply to our town.
Yes, we don't have to keep going to create a new ordinance. Yep. So this is pretty long and lengthy. I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at it. But this will be what, we'll adopt this at the town meeting to make things easier.
We need a motion to push it to the town
yes.
meeting.
Well, it's not technically pushing it to the town meeting. It's agreeing that we will eventually.
I'll make a motion that we agree to join the CCSWA.
Enabling ordinance.
Enabling ordinance.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we'll revisit this again when we go back to put it to town meeting. All right. So we did add 6. We had a number 7, a new number 7 to the agenda with public comment. But seeing there's no one here, we will move to a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right. We are adjourned at 7 p.m.